Hi, everyone. My name is Delisa Novak. I'm the exercise coordinator and power punch boxing instructor for Parkinson Association of the Rockies. And today I want to cover boxing basics with you. So we're going to be looking at just the proper boxing stance and how to throw 6 punches that are most commonly seen in our power punch boxing classes. So before we get started, with all of that, I just want to put out there that before starting any exercise program, we recommend that you seek the advice of your primary care physician or neurologist. Also, any of you that might be following along with us today, if you're more comfortable in a seated position, you can by all means work through this recording in a seated position if you're more comfortable in that position today. So let's go ahead and get started. So starting with just our basic boxing stance, I'm going to be covering 2 stances today. One is our orthodox stance, which for most people are right-handed, and then our southpaw stance, which for most people who are left-handed. And why we are in those stances is because in our orthodox stance, which I'm going to cover first, our right side is behind us, and so that can be, like, for most of us who are right-handed, that's our more dominant or powerful side, and vice versa for people who are left-handed. In that southpaw stance, that left side might be our more dominant or powerful side. So let's go ahead and start with our orthodox stance. So I am going to start with my feet about hip width apart. I'm just going to take my right leg and I'm going to step it back. So my feet are at a slight angle and the positioning of my legs are between hip and shoulder width apart. So from this position, I feel very balanced in this position. Whereas if my feet are too far apart, it's a little bit harder for me to use my hips and shoulders. And once we get into footwork and movement, you would see this position would be a little bit harder to move around. And also you want to be careful that your feet are not too close together either, because if they're too close together, I might feel a little bit more off balance in this position. So we want just that kind of nice happy medium where my feet are between hip and shoulder width apart. And I'm at that nice slight angle between my front leg and my rear leg. And so now from here, I'm just going to kind of work from my feet up to my chin. So from this position, I'm going to be light on my feet. I'm going to have that right heel or my back heel just slightly off the floor. My knees are slightly bent. You want to be careful you're not in a squat because your legs are going to burn out real fast. So you want just a nice soft knees. My hips are going to be facing just a little bit more towards the camera. My abs are tucked in, so I have a nice strong core. My hands are up by my chin and my elbows are going to be facing down towards the floor. And I'm going to just slightly tuck my chin. And right here is going to be my basic boxing stance. So my fists are facing each other. My palms are facing each other. My fists are pointing up to the ceiling, just nice and comfortable right underneath that chin. Good. Now, same idea for my southpaws out there. You're just going to take the left leg, step it back. So again, I'm at that slight angle with my feet. Good, nice distance between shoulder and hip width. Knees are soft. Left heel is slightly off the floor. Elbows pointing towards the ground. Fist right underneath the chin. Chin just slightly tucked. Good, right there. So those are my stances. Whichever stance you feel more comfortable in, go ahead and use that stance today. And even if you are left-handed, you might feel more comfortable in the orthodox stance and vice versa. So you find the stance that works best for you and you're most comfortable with. So I'm going to be demonstrating everything from the orthodox stance. So let's go ahead and get started with those punches. So I'm going to set myself up, get in that good stance, hands are up. So the first punch we're going to cover is our jab. So also we have instructors, and if you've taken boxing classes in the past, you may have some instructors who use numbers for their punches. So I'm gonna cover both the name of the punches and the numbers that correspond with the punches as well. So we're gonna start with that jab punch. So that's gonna be my lead hand. So no matter what stance you're in, it's always that lead side. So my lead hand right here is going to be my jab punch. So now I'm gonna take that arm and I'm gonna extend it straight out in front. Really just kind of level with my shoulder. My two middle knuckles are going to aim right for about my chin nose level. And then I'm going to bring that punch right back in. So when I throw that punch out, two middle knuckles are aiming for my nose and chin, and notice how my palm is towards the floor, and I bring that punch right back. So extend that punch. So you want to make sure extending the punch, just be careful you're not locking out or hyperextending your joints, like your elbow or your shoulder, and then bring it right back to that beginning position. Now, some instructors may call this out as a one. So my jab or my one, and I'm bringing it right back in. Also notice I'm kind of turning and using my hip and that shoulder as I throw the punch and bringing it right back. Good. Now I'm going to face this direction so you can see a side view as well. Bring it right back. Good. Now with your punches, make sure you're breathing too. Try not to hold your breath. And really be careful not to tense up from the shoulders into the fists, the forearms. Good. And then bring it right back. Let's do one more. Throw that jab or that one and bring it back. Good. All right, now we're going to cover our cross punch. So this is going to be my rear side or my back side now. So my back arm is going to be throwing my cross punch. So from here, again, extending that arm just like my jab. Again, level with the shoulder. Two middle knuckles are aiming for that nose or chin. Bring it right back. And again, getting that full extension, no hyperextension, and bring it back. Good. Now I'm going to work the components of the cross, starting from my toes up to my shoulder. So with the cross, to get that good power in there, you want to rotate from the toes, knee, hip to shoulder. So just imagine you're squashing a bug with the ball of that back foot. So you're squashing that bug. So when I squash that bug, I'm turning the toes slightly inward, lifting that heel, and then I want to rotate my knee, hip, and shoulder through as I do so. So starting from the toe, working all the way up to the shoulder. So that's where I'm getting the power from my punch. If I just threw my arm, I'm not going to get any power. But when I use my body to throw that punch, that creates my power. And it also just really helps in getting that good rotational movement into our workout as well. And just like that jab, make sure you're bringing everything back in. Good. Now I'm going to do this punch from the side as well. Now, for those who may know the numbers to our punches, this is our 2. So 2, 2, 2. Good. Good. Let's do a couple more. Throw that cross, bring it back. Nice. All right. Good. Just a little boxer shuffle here. All right. The next 2 punches we're going to move on to now are called hooks. So again, we are going to have a lead hook, so using that lead side of the body, and a rear hook, so using the rear side of our body. So starting with the lead, what you want to think of doing is just lifting that elbow away from the rib cage, bringing it up no higher than shoulder level, and then following through. So notice how my forearm kind of comes across my chin, and everything's in alignment from my wrist to my shoulder, like a 90-degree angle almost, and then bring it back. Good. So I'm turning that punch and turning my body in the direction of that punch. So again, good rotational movement, turning from the toes, knees, hip, and shoulder, and then bring it back. So I want to make sure again that the elbows come back in to cover up the rib cage. Because if I throw my punch and just keep it out there, again, I'm not covering up. I know we're not actually making contact or anything, or sparring or anything like that. But as boxers, we want to make sure we're covering up our rib cage. And if I leave that elbow just hanging out there, your arms are really going to get tired. That shoulder is really going to get tired after a while. So just let that elbow come back and cover up. As soon as you throw that punch, return. Good. Just working nice and slow here. We're in no rush. So that way you can really focus that you're getting that rotation in there, that your elbow's not lifting up higher. We want to keep it, boom, right there. Good. So now if we're using numbers, this is our 3. So we're throwing our 3. Good. I'm going to turn here to the side a little bit. Good. Let's do one more. Nice. All right. So let's move on to that rear hook. So again, in my stance, again, working from the toes all the way up to the shoulder. Same idea. I'm going to just lift that elbow up and bring that forearm through, and then return that elbow and arm back to my rib cage. So again, I'm squashing that bug, turning my toe, hip, shoulder in the direction of that punch. Be very mindful, my elbow's not lifting up above my shoulder, and bring it back. Good. So again, this is your rear hook, or this is our number 4. Good. Let's do one more. All right, now something else I want to mention with your hooks is one way I was taught to do it is to throw the punch like you're holding a mug. So your fist is facing you and your thumb is up to the ceiling. But it's perfectly fine also to throw the hook with your palm facing down. So, and the thumb facing towards you. They're both perfectly fine ways to throw the hook. Again, you just always want to make sure, again, you know, if you are striking a bag or handheld mitts, that you're leading with those 2 middle knuckles. And then just make sure that wrist stays in nice alignment with the forearm, no matter how you're throwing it. So let's go ahead and just throw our hooks. So we're going to throw lead hook or our 3, bring it back, and then our rear hook or our 4, bring it back. Good. So we're going to go hook and hook. Nice. Good. Again, just take your time with this. Please feel free to call out, again, either the name or the number of the strike, so you get really familiar with the terminology behind what we're doing, our movements. So you can go hook, rear hook, or 3 and 4. Good. All right, and shake that out. Okay. So let's go ahead and put the first 4 punches that we've done together. So we're going to start with our jab, cross, hook, hook. So we're going to put those 4 punches together. So go ahead, get in your stance. Let's go ahead and get our hands up. Get comfortable with your positioning. And we're going to start with our jab, cross, lead hook, rear hook. Good. Again, jab, cross, aiming for the nose, lead hook, rear hook, aiming more for the jaw. So we're punching, striking more to the side. So again, jab, cross, lead hook, rear hook. Now let's call out the numbers that are associated to these punches. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's do one more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Nice, everyone. All right. Just a nice, easy boxer shuffle here. So just keep those legs, those hips, those shoulders nice and loose. Now, the last 2 punches we're going to cover are our uppercuts. So like the hooks, we have a lead uppercut and a rear uppercut. So let's go ahead and we're going to start with that lead uppercut. So from our stance, hands are up, elbows down. All right. So think of just a little pop. So we're just a little drop. Again, we don't want to squat way down, but just a little drop into that lead leg, and then we're going to drive up, like a little pop. So now with the uppercut, what I'm doing is I have my palm facing towards me. Fists are going to be more up to the ceiling. Good. So it's just kind of like looking at myself in the camera. I'm just like a little pop, kind of like right under the chin. That way you kind of know what you're aiming for. You have a target. Good. And just pop it up. So again, I'm not just using my arms, I'm using my whole body by that little drop and pop up. Now, another thing too I want to mention with uppercuts, and just really any of our punches, even like those hooks, we want to be very careful that we're not swinging big from our shoulders. We want to keep things in just a little closer. So we don't want to put too much work and strain on those shoulders just by swinging. So you just want to keep it in just a little bit snugger to the body. Good. And that's why we use our full body. That's why we can get that power. Now, if we're using numbers for this lead uppercut, this is going to be number 5. So we're going to go 5. 5. Good. Make sure you're breathing. One more. 5. And bring it back. Okay. Moving on to that rear uppercut now. Same idea. Just a little bit of a drop to that back side and then driving that punch up. Good. We'll pop. Boom. Nice. Driving it up. So now number associated to that rear uppercut. This is 6. This is our 6 right here. Good. Doing our best to keep those hands by the chin. Driving up. Very nice. Let's do a couple more right here. And bring it back. All right. Let's put those two together. So we're going to go lead uppercut and rear uppercut. Just going to practice those together. All right. Whenever you're ready, lead uppercut and rear uppercut. Good. Nice and nice. Now, we want to associate the numbers here. We have 5, 6. 5 and 6. Good. Let's do one more. Oh, very good. Very good. All right. So let's go ahead and put all 6 of those punches together. So little boxer shuffle. Shake it out. Good. If you're sitting or standing, kind of shake those arms out a little bit. And let's go ahead and go through all 6 of our punches. We'll call them out by name and we'll also call them out by number as well. All right. Getting in that boxing stance. Here we go. Let's start jab, cross, lead hook, rear hook, lead uppercut, rear uppercut. And good. Again, jab, cross, hook, hook, uppercut, and uppercut. All right. Jab, take your time, throw in the punches. And as I said, please feel free to call them out as you throw them. All right, let's go ahead and use those numbers now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Good. One more time. You calling it out at home, however you wish, by name, by number. Good. One, last one. And nice. Shake that out, everyone. Great job. So please be on the lookout. We'll be doing more series of our boxing. So we'll be covering other things such as going through combinations, defensive moves, footwork. So we'll be working on putting those together and getting those out to all of you as well. If you have any questions, any comments, please feel free to throw those in to the comments section. We'd love to hear from you. And if you have any questions regarding any of our exercise classes, please feel free to visit our website or call our office. We'll have all that information provided here as well. And we'd be happy to provide you with any further information and answer any questions you may have. Thank you everyone for joining me today, and have a wonderful day.